Dawn at the facility. The sun is cresting its purple and yellow dawn across the forest as we pull up to the facility, the colors bruising the sky as though it's endured as much as we have during the night. Unit Bravo head off with the other agents to help settle our prisoners into their new quarters until it's decided what to do with so many of them. So I head down to the medical wing, where I'm eager to see a different supernatural. I've been to the medical wing of the facility so many times by now. I feel as though I could find my way blindfolded through the twists and turns of the circular tunnels. Finally, I draw to a stop outside of a room that has the name I'm looking for and knock on the metal green door. Yes? A voice calls, so I step through. The stringent smell inside the room mixes with the woody balsamic scent of sandalwood, creating a haze of odd odors that I wasn't expecting. I wrinkle my nose and close the door, stepping closer to the bed where a nurse is wrapping a thick bandage around Elidor's muscled torso. He winces. Sorry, the delicate nurse stutters, his curtains of glossy black hair falling slightly in front of his equally deep onyx eyes. Elidor smiles and shakes his head. You didn't inflict these wounds, Tosh. It's not your fault. Still, the young man twirls the cotton fabric with even more delicate care, easing the bandages over the mottled bruises and raw scratches that mark the Fae's body like a painful patchwork quilt. Sure. You know, I say, stepping further into the room to catch Elidor's attention. I hear medical professionals make the worst patients. Elidor brightens with a laugh, but it is immediately sliced through by pain cutting across his features. I flinch. Sorry. I would prefer people to stop apologizing, he states. It's nice to laugh. The nurse, Tosh, finishes up a few moments later and stands from his seat, offering me a small smile before skittering out of the room. I take the now vacant chair by the bed and look up at Elidor, who is slumped over slightly, grasping an arm across his bandaged chest. How are you doing? That was all pretty intense, I say. I'm grateful you came to my rescue, he replies with as much of a smile as he can muster, swinging his legs up onto the bed so he can lie back. I hear you managed to get others out too. He tries to nestle his head against the unplumped pillows with a click of his tongue, so I lean forwards to punch them into a fluffier stack for him. How did they take you? I ask. He stares up at the ceiling. I was on my way here. They ambushed me with darts. Darts? He rolls his head to look at me with a sigh. I'm assuming they were filled with D&B, as I do not remember much after that point. Yeah. I shake my head at the turn of conversation. You shouldn't have to worry about this right now. You just concentrate on healing. As soon as the D&B in my system wears off, it won't take long for me to be as I was, he explains. But you're not there now, I remind him. It must be strange to be in the position of the people you're often treating. He chuckles, but it ends with a wheezed cough. It's not a turn of events I would care to repeat. Then rest and recover, I insist, standing from my seat. I'll check in on you again soon. A smile catches his lips as he sinks further into his bed, tiredness casting deep shadows beneath his eyes. Thank you. I make my way out of the room, closing the door as quietly as I can behind me so he can rest. In the hallway, I almost bang into my mother, who's striding down the tubular corridor in my direction. I hoped I would find you here, she says, sweeping an arm out to the visitors' waiting chairs outside of the room. We have something to discuss. Yeah, we really do. I sit down. Why did they take Elidor to get to me? There are other people I'm closer to. A vision of Farah flits into my mind at those words. What if she'd been taken instead? My chest hollows with an aching pain at the thought of it. She takes the seat beside me, resting her hands in her lap with a sigh. From what we could glean from the trappers we caught tonight, it would appear that you were seen having a meal with him in the canteen a while ago. The trappers seem to have assumed there was a deeper friendship than there might be. I stare down at the ground, frowning, my eyes flickering over the linoleum flooring as the memory comes back to me. My gaze snaps back up. But that was here at the facility. How could the trappers have seen that? It would appear our worries of a mole are starting to become more than just mere concerns, she replies, her jaw tight as she speaks the words. I rub my fingers down my nose. So, now we need to be worried about people here too? She hesitates for a moment. Her lips purse and pout as though she's struggling to keep from saying something she really doesn't want to. But eventually she speaks. It's why the Chamber are so keen to have as many people we can trust working with us as possible. Her chest rises with a deep, steadying breath. It's why they wish to promote you. What? I'm unsure if it's pride or worry that makes her eyes shine for a moment before she continues. They are offering you a position within Unit Bravo as an agent. They are? I rub at my eyes, trying to shift my shock so I can actually process what's happening right now. But don't I need to go through a whole bunch of training before that? She chuckles. I believe you've endured even more than our most strict training could provide. But Unit Bravo will be tasked to continue your training whilst working. Your situation is incredibly unique after all. I clasp my hands together. What happens at the station if I leave? Miss Poname would take your position, Rebecca explains. I shoot my gaze up to her as she comes to stand beside me. A smile lifts my lips as I say, I might just take it for that. Tina will make a great detective. She'll be over the moon. So you accept? She asks. um. Hmm. Sure, we'll go with that. I mean, I suppose it's a great opportunity. I look at the floor with a sigh, frowning. But you're hesitant? She asks. I glance back up and twist my lips together for a moment. I'll miss the station. I'll miss the people there. She smiles, though the expression looks a little strained. Working for the agency doesn't mean you'll have to stop seeing them. I perk up a little at that, but a slight concern tugs at me anyway. I guess so, but it won't be as regularly. She nods. Does that mean you won't accept? I contemplate for a moment longer before straightening with a nod. No, I will do it. And here. She tugs a new pass card out of her skirt pocket and hands it over. Congratulations. The word sounds almost dull as it leaves her, hollow, scared. I run my fingers down these silvery white moon symbols etched into the grey card. There are 3 of them now. I will let you know if your duties once the transfer begins, she continues. You? I lift my brows. I thought someone lower level might do that. A more genuine smile catches her this time. I am now your handler. It's my duty. The amused expression quickly tightens with unease. A job I'm not sure I will relish. She nods in farewell before heading off down the corridor, her heels clicking in the echoing quiet. After she's gone, I shove my ID card into my pocket. Getting up to leave, I head in the opposite direction to go home. Who knows what time at the warehouse. As soon as I get back to the warehouse, I trudge up to my bedroom and fall into my bed. The mattress embraces me like a concerned friend. It's been a long few weeks. Hugging my pillow into my chest, I snuggle down on top of the duvet. I'm ready to fall into a few days' worth of sleep right now, still dressed, but a knock on the door crushes that dream. With a side groan, I force myself up and head to the door to pull it open. Farah skips into my room with a bright smile, twisting on the spot so that she can fall into a sitting position on my bed with a couple of bounces. Hi, I say with a chuckle. You were amazing, she calls, flinging her arms into the air. I can't help but break into a smile myself as I close the door, heading to sit next to her on the bed. Thanks. The fact that you made it through all of that and are still standing, she expels a whoosh of breath. Seriously impressive. My tiredness is blown away by the easy compliments she offers. She leans closer with glimmering eyes. I was jumping at the bit to come join you. Her gaze dips for a moment as she clears her throat. Because we do make a pretty good team, right? Sure, why not? I slide along the mattress to close the already small gap between us, resting my arm against hers as I offer a wink. In more ways than one. A smirk catches her lips as she nudges me with her shoulder. You get access to me one time and now you're all over it, huh? I start to angle away. Well, I suppose if you don't feel the same. Her hand whips out to wrap around me and draw me back. I didn't say that, babe. Now it's my turn to lift my lips in a teasing smile. Her phone playing a tune from her pocket interrupts the conversation and she stands in order to tug it free. Looks like your mum is wrapping everything up, she announces a moment later. I lean my hands back on the bed. So that means we're done? Until the paperwork comes in for us to fill out. Yeah. She replaces the phone in her pocket. But that won't be for a couple of days. Relief pours over me like a breath of fresh air on a stifling day. Finally. Though, now we have way too much time to fill. Her gaze slides to mine as she tugs at her bottom lip with a sharp fang. I mean, I can think of something to fill the time. Heated excitement flames within me at the sudden desire that flashes in her amber eyes, making them swirl like molten gems. She moves towards me, my legs spreading in response in order to let her closer. A silent question beats like a pulse around us. Sure. You know what? Why not? I'll do it like the last time. You'll see it in an extra episode linked in the description if you want to. If you don't want to, well, you can just skip past it. It probably won't be too important. And we're back. The next morning, still in the bedroom. Farah wakes slowly, the warmth of sunlight brushing against her arm and seeming to pull her from sleep with a gentle shake. She makes to stretch out, but pauses when she finds Jules still cuddled up beside her. A smile catches Farah as she looks over them. Sunlight casts a pool of light around their sleeping form, glowing with golden energy. This is a moment she will remember for eternity. And hopefully it will help push out some of the more depressing memories that seem so determined to cling to her mind. Coming to this world, it was awful. Finding Unit Bravo made it better, but finding Jules makes it feel like destiny. Thank you very much, Destiny. The thought helps inflate her already growing happiness. But as her gaze trails down Jules and lands on the beat of their steady pulse, the smile falls and a pit of unease swells hollow and deep in her stomach. It feels as though Farah can see with piercing precision right through Jules' skin to the blood that flows beneath. Her mouth goes dry as thirst teases at her throat. Of all of Unit Bravo, it's well known that Farah has the best control with blood. In fact, it's never been an issue in the slightest, even before she came to this world. Until now. Sure, their blood is so much more tempting than any human's because of what it can do, but still the draw of it shouldn't be grasping with a more and more powerful hold over Farah. If anything, it should be getting easier the longer Farah is around them. That's not how it feels now as her focus zones in on the throbbing beat of their blood. It seems to shiver with the power held within, the taste of it radiating like a sweet aura. Farah rips her gaze away and stumbles from the bed, rushing to the bedroom door to head out into the hallway. In the hallway, Farah draws in a long breath and shakes her head. It clears in less than a second as the tightness of her throat eases. Footsteps echoing closer finally push through Farah's clouded senses, and she glances down the hallway at an approaching figure. Why am I not surprised to see you? Farah calls. Farah knows how close she's grown with Jules, but the friendship between these two is racing just as fast to catch up. Through the gloom of the hallway, the figure looks very much like Nat. Please choose which vampire you would like to become your character's best friend within Unit Bravo. This choice will be locked for the rest of the series. Well, I mean, if the figure already looks like Nat, then, I mean... Although I feel like Ava would be more fun to read. Because throughout, like, most of this, Nat is just like... Yeah, she's very friendly, but she's just not a super interesting character. Whereas I think Ava might be more, fun to read. Morgan is just like, she's also there. She doesn't really do much. You know what? We're gonna go for Ava. As the figure steps further into the light of the wall's sconce, it becomes clear that it's actually Ava. The team leader moves down the hallway with purpose, drawing to a slow stop by Farah's side. What is the matter? Ava demands with a tight frown. You seem unsettled. Farah rests a hand on her chest, where her heart does indeed beat unsteadily and fast. She eventually shakes her head. I'm fine now. We're just having a bit of a moment. A moment about? Ava presses further. Nothing that matters now. Farah smiles. So, what are you doing here so early? Ava's focus quickly shifts to the bedroom door, and her tight frown eases. I was worried for Jules. I did not get the chance to see them once they returned. They're sleeping pretty soundly right now, Farah informs her. Doubt they'll wake up for a week after all they've been through lately. An emotion so rare that Farah almost misses it flashes like a knife through Ava's eyes, but Farah can feel the sucking depth of it rolling off the team leader. Guilt. That we must keep asking them to risk themselves is something I regret, Ava states. They're a part of our team. It's only like asking one of us to do the same, and you do that all the time, Farah comments, lips pursed in confusion. And you think I don't feel the same regret as at having to ask it of any of the rest of you? A small, weak smile catches Ava's lips before she sighs. Farah reaches out and squeezes Ava's arm. Thanks. The commander allows a second more of the soft moment before hardening her walls once more. I was going to train after checking in on Jules. Would you like to come? Farah shakes her head with a smile. No, I'm going to head back in. I don't want him to wake up alone. Ava nods. Then I will see you both later. When Ava has disappeared from sight, Farah heads back into the bedroom, heart swelling with happiness. It's difficult not to wonder if Jules knows just how much they've affected everyone in this team. Farah more than anyone. Next chapter.